This right here that you're about to hear is legit like the definition of take the money and run. So these three women right here, I'm sure for starters, I know you know the one that's in the middle, but that's Patrice con artist Cullis. And I just refer to the other two as the other two because honestly, I don't really know their names and I don't care. But these are the three women that are responsible for the founding of BLM, quote unquote. And people have had concerns about this organization for years now. You know, at its essence, we saw what it was about, but then over time, stuff started to pretty much seep out about what their real agenda was. And then you looked on their mission statement, and that's when people really, especially a lot of black people, started to come back away from them. And then you had Patrice Cullis and her wife buy this expensive home in Topanga, California. I didn't even know there was a place called Topanga, California. The only thing I recognized with Topanga was the character Topanga on Boys Meet World. Those of y'all who grew up in the 90s know exactly what character from what show I'm talking about. But now it has come out that BLM, the organization behind it anyway, is facing bankruptcy after they fell into almost $9 million in debt last year. I'm not surprised by this at all. They've literally been using this organization, quote unquote, as a money funneling scheme for quite some time now. But I'm going to go ahead and read this article coming from Radar Online that was posted May 24th, 2023. The national organization behind Black Lives Matter is facing bankruptcy after plummeting $8.5 million into debt last year, Radar Online has learned. In a concerning development to come almost 4 years after the BLM Global Network Foundation formally emerged in November 2020, the organization is now nearly $9 million in the red. And if y'all remember, I believe I did a video probably back in 2020 when around the time she got this house with her partner. Then people started to wonder where was this finances coming from? Where were they going? Because it's like, it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere it was supposed to. And you know, Tamir Rice's mother, she spoke out and spoke loudly. She even called out Patrice Cullis out of her name. I believe she called her a B, and she had every right to do that. Because all the money they said they was going to go to certain places, it went to all these other places. And I believe that Patrice and her wife have multiple homes. Not just that one in California, but I believe they had created some kind of house, quote unquote, in Canada. And I believe they had some kind of home in the Caribbean somewhere, if my memory serves me correctly. Like, they were funneling money to different places where it wasn't supposed to be going, basically to serve their own needs and their own wants, and not where it was supposed to go priority wise. Even more concerning is evidence showing that BLMG and F still managed to hire and pay relatives of the foundation's founder, Patrice Cullis, lucrative 7-figure salaries despite the devastating financial woes faced in 2022. And that was another thing. They was like, this woman is out here just hiring her family members, or quote unquote saying they're being hired, but you're giving them money and paying them like they're employees. So a lot of people like this one, I'm telling you, this woman is as shady as they come. According to financial disclosure documents first obtained, the Washington Free Beacon this week, Patrice's brother Paul was paid a whopping $1.6 million last year to provide quote unquote professional security services for BLM. Paul Cullis also reportedly received an additional $126,000 salary as head of security, quote unquote, for the foundation, as well as vague consulting fees, despite having no experience or background in the security services industry. And I'm glad they put that in quotations, because even they don't believe that this guy was actually working as so-called security. He was basically just getting money. She was just giving her family money. She, like I said, she wasn't giving it to the families that actually were supposed to receive it. She was giving it to her own family members. Meanwhile, in 2021, Patrice came under fire when it was revealed that the foundation paid the father of her child $970,000 to produce so-called live events and other so-called creative services for the BLM GNF. Look at all the places that they're just willingly just passing this money out to like it's nothing. And that money wasn't supposed to go to these people. She got greedy. How this woman isn't even locked up or being investigated is beyond me. Patrice ultimately resigned from her position within the foundation in May 2021 amid allegations of corruption. While Patrice Cullis was forced to resign due to charges of using BLM funds for her personal use, it looks like she's still keeping it all in the family. Paul Keminar, a lawyer for the National Legal and Policy Center watchdog group, said regarding the newly released financial disclosure documents. The financial documents further reveal that donations to the BLM GNF dropped significantly between 2021 and 2022, with the foundation only receiving $9.3 million in donations in 2022 compared to the $77 million received in 2021. Look at that. They said this organization received $77 million of in donations in 2021. And then they got less than 10 million last year. That, if that doesn't sound shady to you, I don't know what is. The foundation's investment accounts also reportedly plummeted in value by nearly 10 million last year, leaving BLM GNF struggling to climb out of debt. As RadarOnline.com previously reported, the foundation's seemingly imminent bankruptcy comes just 2 years after Patrice resigned from BLM GNF. Although she was accused of spending millions of dollars on properties while BLM struggled with their own finances, Patrice called the allegations absolutely false and a false narrative. The idea that the foundation received millions of dollars and then I hid those dollars in my bank account is absolutely false, she said in a statement. That's a false narrative, she added. She also goes on to say, it's impacted me personally and professionally that people would accuse me of stealing from black people. It's not that far-fetched, considering what has already been put out there so far. Like I said, this woman is a crook. She needs to be thoroughly, and I do mean thoroughly, examined and investigated of all her finances dating back to when she started kicking this stuff out. This was nothing more than a money grab for her. It really wasn't. I mean, really is. That's all it really was when you think about it at the end of the day. That's why I've been when BLM first kicked off, I'll admit, I used to type it into my tweets, hashtag BLM and stuff like that. I never put it in my bio. But then when I started to see the writing on the wall, I said, we got to peel back from them. We got to step all the way back from them. Because something just ain't right here. And one of the most cringiest videos I remember of her was when she got up there and said, we're going to electric slide to freedom. Y'all remember that video? That video was so absolutely cringe. I could not believe she actually got up there and waddled her fat ass in the middle of the street the way that she did and thought she was actually doing something. Some of y'all may or may not remember that video, but it was so cringe. I feel like that was the beginning before they started doing the get your booty to the polls and the vax that thing up and all of that other stuff. I feel like that was one of the first ones. It didn't really catch on like that, but when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I feel like ripping my damn hair out. But yeah, this woman has, in my opinion, she has no morals and she has no integrity whatsoever. And these two right here, like I said, I don't even know their names. Like, as far as I'm concerned, they were or are maybe still her lackeys.